The country is in talks with British drug manufacturer AstraZeneca to conduct vaccine clinical trials. Earlier, I spoke with the UK Minister for Asia, Nigel Adams, and he shared the latest vaccine developments and COVID-19 response efforts.
It's really encouraging to hear that the tests thus far have been as positive as they have, and the vaccines, the broad variety of vaccines that have been discussed appear to be effective. This afternoon I had a meeting with AstraZeneca alongside Filipino Health Secretary Duque, the Vaccine Czar Secretary Galvez and Secretary Loxin. We had some incredibly positive discussions with the country director for AstraZeneca. What's crucial is that there is a suite of products that are available to countries. We're very committed through the COVAX mechanism to ensure that there's a broad range of vaccines available for all countries to select from. And absolutely crucially is that there is fair and equitable distribution of the vaccines, and clearly starting with the most vulnerable in any community is key to this.
So, Minister Adams, what took place in that ongoing discussion that you had today between AstraZeneca, the UK government and the Philippine government in terms of vaccine access and distribution?
Well, of course, AstraZeneca, we've been working extremely closely with them in the UK and also alongside the University of Oxford. We're keen to develop that relationship between AstraZeneca and the Philippines government. I think that without going into too much commercial detail, I think we're very hopeful that we had some positive discussions with the company and the ministers, the secretaries that we met this afternoon. So very positive discussions. And as I say, it's important that we have all countries have a broad range of vaccines to choose from. And of course, the logistics of distributing the various vaccines are different depending on which particular vaccine there is. So, for example, the Pfizer product has requires different logistics in terms of temperatures, and the Moderna vaccine different compared to the AstraZeneca product. So I was very encouraged by the discussions this afternoon, and I know that when I left the meeting, the representative from AstraZeneca was still discussing with Health Secretary Duque. So I think that might be one for you to follow up with the Health Secretary, Rico.
Absolutely, Minister Adams. But in your conversations with AstraZeneca in the UK, have they given you a timeline when we are likely to see their vaccine, together with Oxford University, coming to market?
Well, we're very hopeful that we're going to get the that particular vaccine by the end of the year. Of course, all the tests, the field trials have to be completed to ensure the efficacy is where it needs to be and the safety of the vaccine. What I can tell you, Rico, is we're very encouraged by what we've seen thus far, and we're hopeful to be in a position before the end of the year to be able to introduce some of these vaccines. But we need to make sure the testing, and the companies need to make sure everything is done by the book.
This is indeed good news, Minister Adams. And recently, Minister, we had Minnie Pascual Claypatch, a matron at the University Hospitals Dorset, on the program. And she was recently awarded the British Empire Medal for her work. How important are Filipino nurses in the UK fighting on the front lines against COVID-19? Well,
I can tell you that the British Empire Medal is one of our oldest awards. So, the Philippines should be incredibly proud of what this woman has achieved. These awards are not given lightly, awarded by Her Majesty. And I can personally also attest to the care and the respect that we have for Filipino workers in our health service. I've had occasion to be in hospital myself earlier in the year, and I was cared for by a Filipino nurse, and she was absolutely brilliant. The duty of care, the experience, the training which they receive within the Philippine system for healthcare workers is second to none. We are massively grateful to the many thousands of Filipino workers that are within our National Health Service. This is a health service we are rightly proud of, and we are incredibly proud and grateful to all those Filipinos who work within our health service.
In part 2 of our interview, we'll be discussing with Minister Nigel Adams about UK-Philippine partnership, climate change, and fighting fake news. Catch the rest of my interview with the minister this Monday at 9 p.m.